I think this is going to be my last video today because I've been doing videos for over an hour and I have to go wake up my wife. Which one is more important? Which one do you think is more important? Your thoughts, your feelings, or your emotions? I broke it up into my mind, body, spirit. Thoughts come from the mind, right? The mind is rooted in the body, in the brain. It's got hidden functions to it. It is, you know, we're going to just say, for lack of time, it's many things. The mind is many things. But we're going to just say thoughts. I mean, the mind is a collection of thoughts, memories, all of that, likes, dislikes, everything that you've written on yourself of who you are is your mind. How you think, how you act, how you feel, how you behave is your mind, right? See, this is my problem with which one is more important, because your thoughts can betray you. And I'm going to tell you why. The thoughts are voluntary and involuntary. Thoughts just pop up sometimes. Bam, they're involuntary. They're there. Okay? Then you have thoughts that you consciously thought about. Now, the soul is what is the thing that says, I'm going to think about this. See, you don't see that part. All you see is, I wonder what I'm going to do when I finish this video. I know what I do. I go upstairs and I wake up my wife and see thoughts start creating a list, and you're voluntarily making that list, right? The soul voluntarily making that list for the thoughts, okay? For the mind. Now, sometimes it's voluntary and involuntary. Sometimes the thoughts can come from the left side of your brain, the rational, analytical part. That don't sound right. That's right. That's not right. I need to do this. That's the part of your brain that puts everything into a nice little neat box, you know. The right side of your brain, your thoughts can come from the right side of your brain too. It can come from the conscious, spiritual side of your brain. And it can come involuntary. I get a lot of thoughts involuntary from the right side of my brain. And that's where these videos come from. A lot of them come from the right side of my brain. And the thought comes from the right side. And then I let it go on the left side and kind of organize how it's going to present it to you guys. Because for many years, many years, I knew what I could not say to you right now. Like, it took me years to learn how to get my right side of my brain to communicate with my left side of my brain. I knew. I was just standing in this knowing of, yeah, I know that, yeah, blah, 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 blah. I know that, you know, thoughts, my mind is not part of, you know, my essence of my spirit. But I could not verbalize it because my right side of my brain would tell me stuff like that. And then it didn't make no sense to my left side of my brain. I was like, my left side of my brain was like, what? What? How can you even say that? And it took years to formulate the vocabulary enough for me to verbalize it. Okay. So, you got left brain thinking and right brain thinking. Okay. All right. So now you got your feelings, your spirit, your sixth sense. It's rooted in the body too. When people say open up your heart, open up your spirit, think with your heart, be open-minded, that is the spirit. I mean, it's not heart literally. It's so funny when people say, the heart is an organ. You cannot think with your heart. It's not literally. I think it's the chakra that's right there. Because that chakra that's right there is really, really important. That energy center that's right there is really, really important. But, you know, people don't get that damn technical, which is fine. Okay, so your feelings. And I'm not talking about I feel happy, I feel sad. I'm not talking about your emotions. There's difference. Your feeling is that sixth sense of knowing. Your spirit has antennas on it that feel for the truth. And it kind of feel out that. It's that feeling that you might not share with anybody. It's that feeling of you can argue down to the nines of you right, but deep down inside you know you wrong. It's that feeling that you get that you don't want to admit to even yourself. You definitely ain't going to admit it to the motherfucker you arguing with. You bury in your spirit. Every time you do that, you're burying it deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. Which is why a lot of people are, especially men, they're so stubborn. They're out of touch with their spirit because they're burying it. They're burning it. They're burning it. They're denying that part of who they are. Women are more open-hearted. They think with their spirit, you know, rooted in the right side of the brain. the sixth sense, those intuitions, the clairvoyancy. I was just thinking about you when you called. That, don't make no sense, really can't explain it. Okay, then you got emotions. Oh, I hate emotions. Because emotions are so bodily rooted in the brain, the functions, the involuntary. So I asked my wife, emotions are involuntary and voluntary. Have you ever worked yourself up to the point where at first you weren't upset? Okay, I'll give you a good example of a voluntary emotion. Now, most emotions are involuntary. They just come. But, okay, say you're in a relationship, right? And your partner does something, your wife, husband, partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever, does something that you don't want them to do. Now, you really don't have a problem with the action per se because it's something you do. Say it's flirting. You really don't have a problem with flirting because you flirt. If you really had a problem with doing it, you wouldn't even do it. But you don't want them to do it because you don't want the idea of them being involved with somebody else to potentially ruin what you've created for yourself, which is this happy relationship. So no. They cannot flirt. So now you got to get mad. Even though it might not be in you. Women do this a lot. We are very manipulative. We're giving away the secrets. We do this a lot. We will conjure up in a damn emotion. I do it. I have. I'm guilty. Conjure up an emotion. I'm crying. I'm emotional. But you didn't talk to me. I really don't even give a fuck. But I got to make you think that I give a fuck so you won't do it no more. I asked my wife, I was like, can you have a voluntary emotion? It's principalities. You get pissed off about the principality, not necessarily the action. Those are voluntary emotions. You are planning on being pissed. So now you're planning on the piss. So now when that motherfucker get home, I'm going to whoop their ass. You planning on getting pissed. So now it's like you gave that negative emotion so much energy. It's coming out. And it's coming out with a vengeance. Yeah. So I wrote down some emotions. Just because this is part of Know Thyself, I'm put it in there. Emotions. They're like really two emotions. I know people think that the duality of emotions is love and hate, but it's not. It's love and fear. That is like one of the biggest illusions out there. That is love and hate. It's not. Hate is a derivative of fear. Fear of what? Fear of the unknown. Fear of losing control. What is more unknown and losing control than death? You no longer have control of your body. You don't know where the hell you're going to go. People fear death. Fear is the greatest fear. Okay, so fear, hate, anger, jealousy, rage, judgment, sadness, guilt, hurt. Love, peace, compassion, joy, happiness. These are just a couple. I wrote a couple that were a double-edged sword. Me and my wife did this yesterday. Pride. Pride can be a double-edged sword. Because when something good happens with your kids, you're proud of them. You feel that pride. And also, when you don't want to admit something about yourself, what do you feel? You feel that pride when you feel yourself is doing a good job. You feel that pride. So that can be a double-edged sword because it can be on a negative aspect of emotions or a positive aspect of emotions. Also, lust. Lust is one of those double-edged swords, too. Hey, do me a favor. See if you can name some more emotions. Lust is, too. Because you could lust and feel lust for somebody that's totally inappropriate, or you could feel lust for your life partner that's very appropriate. You want to lust after the person you're spending the rest of your life with, right? Okay, states of being. Bam. On the side of fear. Immoral. Selfish. Low self-esteem. Vengeful. Possessiveness. These are states of being. Ways that you end up acting due to that emotion. I'm just naming a few. Due to love emotion, I wrote down forgiving, kindness, and excitement. So I would say that the feelings is the most important because it's the thing that is less developed. The emotions, man, we got that off top. The thoughts, yeah, we've been doing that ever since we were babies, But the spiritual antennas that feel for the truth, the sixth sense is so buried in most people. It's like non-existence. So I think it's the most important with human beings because it's the one thing that's buried under all of it, and it's the most powerful out of all of it. It is the thing that draws things to you. The Spirit is what gets your prayers out there in the universe and gets them answered. So I'm going to go because I got a baby crawling towards me. Why are you on the floor? Oh, you're so sweet. All right, you guys, I'm gone. Peace. Love, harmony.